Welcome back, everyone, to another explainer. Now, I'm super excited about today's topic, so we're actually just going to skip our standard agenda and dive straight into something that is, and I don't use this phrase lightly, literally going to revolutionize how you handle remote server access. Look, if you manage infrastructure, you already know the daily friction I'm talking about. Today, we're looking at a tool designed to completely eliminate it. So let me just ask you, how much time do you actually waste looking for lost SSH keys? I mean, we've all been there, right? You get a new laptop or maybe a new team member joins, and suddenly you are spending hours just tracking down .pem files, trying to figure out which key goes to which server, and banging your head against those dreaded permission-denied errors. It's a massive drain on productivity, especially when you're just trying to set up a fresh environment for your team. Let's be totally honest about the quote-unquote old way of server access. It's absolute chaos. You've got SSH keys scattered across different machines like some kind of terrible digital scavenger hunt. You're out there manually managing connections, tracking ever-changing IP configs on, sticky notes, a messy spreadsheet? And you've got one app for your terminal, another for file transfers, and yet another for your VPN. It makes team onboarding an inconsistent nightmare. Plus, daily maintenance just involves endlessly hitting the up arrow or digging through your .bash history, trying to remember that one crazy complex command you ran like 3 months ago. Well, it doesn't have to be this way. Section 1. Meet your new bridge, one command away. Okay, let's dive into this. This is SSH Bridge. It brings absolute order to all that chaos by acting as a single, highly intuitive platform to connect, manage, and secure your infrastructure from anywhere. Just notice how clean this interface is. Your hosts, your SFTP browsers, all your configurations, they are all sitting right there in one beautifully designed, centralized hub. Now, the really crucial point here is the underlying security architecture. SSH Bridge allows you to securely manage your SSH and your SFT, and it lets you connect right to private network devices without ever having to expose those servers directly to the public internet. By utilizing a clever private mesh network approach, it literally keeps your most sensitive infrastructure completely off the public web while still maintaining totally seamless remote access for you and your whole team. Section 2, a pro terminal experience built for the modern developer workflow. And this brilliantly illustrates what a truly pro workflow looks like in practice. You can see a robust, multi-tabbed terminal environment actively connected to an Ubuntu server, an NN server, and a Mac, all simultaneously. And then you have the snippets library right there alongside it. So instead of trying to memorize complex syntax, you just save your most used commands, things like Linux update server or restart nginx. And then you can execute them across your servers with literally a single click. Let's just quickly recap how this fundamentally upgrades your daily workflow. First up, you get that simultaneous multi-tab access, so you're effortlessly jumping between Linux, macOS, or whatever else you happen to be running. Second, that reusable snippet library means executing complex commands takes zero mental energy. Third, you get a fully integrated SFTP browser, making file transfers as easy as just dragging and dropping something locally. And honestly, perhaps my absolute favorite part, automatic persistent tmux sessions. Basically, if your laptop dies or you suddenly lose Wi-Fi, your terminal session survives the disconnect. You can resume exactly where you left off from any device. It's a real game changer. Moving on to Section 3, build for team collaboration, unifying your infrastructure. What's great here is how the UI effortlessly maps out your entire team's environment. The My Network view shows you exactly which network devices are online right at this second, like specific MacBooks or Ubuntu instances. And paired with that, the Teams Management Dashboard gives owners the power to assign active sharing roles and specific account statuses to individual team members. So you know exactly who has access to what, and you can revoke it instantly if you ever need to. And that brings us to a massively important feature, the encrypted vault. By definition, this is a secure architecture built right into SSH Bridge that keeps your passwords, your private keys, and your host credentials completely synchronized and protected across all your devices. Why this matters is so simple, but so crucial. It absolutely eliminates that reckless, dangerous practice of sharing raw SSH keys over unencrypted chat apps or emails. With this, everything just stays completely locked down and synced automatically. Section 4, replacing your fragmented stack. The ultimate all-in-one solution. Now, what's really interesting about this is how it redefines the market landscape. Usually, you have to make a choice, right? You either use an SSH client like Termius for a nice UI, or you use a private mesh VPN like Tailscale for actual network security. Well, SSH Bridge essentially merges them both. It gives you all those polished SSH client features like SFTP, saved snippets, and true multi-tab sync, but it also integrates the private mesh networking directly. Plus, that automatic persistent TMUX session is a totally unique advantage that doesn't require you to go through a tedious manual setup on every single host. Section 5. The future of access. Reliable, cross-platform, and secure. 13. That is the number of years of professional web, design, and software development experience backing the team behind this platform. They aren't just some flash-in-the-pan startup taking wild guesses at what developers might need. No, they are an established IT company that has literally been managing server infrastructure for well over a decade. As the developer, ThemeWiz states perfectly on their About page, "We built tools we use ourselves, and we stand behind every product we ship." You see, SSH Bridge was actually born out of their own acute pain. As their team grew, they felt the exact same frustration we've been talking about. Juggling SSH clients, trying to remember credentials, trying to keep configs in sync. They tried pretty much every tool on the market, found them all lacking in some way, and just decided to build the perfect unified solution themselves. And because they built it to solve their own real-world daily problems, they made absolutely sure it requires zero compromises on accessibility. SSH Bridge is available natively on literally every platform you could possibly use. We're talking Mac OS, Windows, Linux, natively on iOS and Android for when you're on the go, and even directly in your web browser. The whole shebang. Your entire secure workflow just travels with you everywhere. So we've seen how this tool eliminates all those scattered keys, how it unifies your terminal environment, secures your team's workflows in a fully encrypted vault, and basically replaces your entire fragmented software stack. Honestly, the only question left to ask yourself is this: are you ready to finally bring order to your infrastructure, stop digging through command histories, and reclaim all that wasted time? If so, SSH Bridge is absolutely worth your attention. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, happy building.